Hello and welcome to The Orig, a show by Damage Control Podcasting, a professionally unprofessional look at the conventions, ideas, and genres of filmmaking. When I Google image search his name, I get a bald Dan Newkirk from Providence Christian College. It's Daniel Newkirk. Okay? Alright. When I ask Jeeves search his name, I get a reference.com which popular celebrities wear dentures. It's Cody Dietrich.
Hello?
Alright. When I type his name into the search bar on Pornhub, I get Carly Gray is stacked, but Tyler doesn't believe they're real. It's Tyler Tipton.
Damn right. I don't believe they're real.
Okay. This episode's topic is portrayals of Santa in film and, well, all media.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So is that feels like a stolen Who's Line entrance?
No, it was from it's an Australian podcast.
You can't even remember who you stole it from?
Fuck, I can't remember.
Well, respect to whoever came up with that comedy gem.
And
So did you actually ask all those things our names?
Yeah, I went to Google image search and I typed in Daniel Newkirk, and a bald guy from Providence Christian College. His picture came up.
Oh, all right.
And then I went to Ask Jeeves, which I couldn't believe was still a website. And the first website that came up was reference.com, which popular celebrities wear dentures.
I never put in my own name in Pornhub.
No?
No.
It's a fun game. I do it all the time. All right, so...
Yeah, but yours... No, never mind. Never mind. I ain't gonna go there.
Yeah, so since this is our Christmas episode, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Joyous Kwanzaa, Good Yule to everybody.
What's the thing Bender celebrates, though?
Robonica.
There you go.
Robonica, yeah.
Hanukkah zombie.
And
Kwanzaa
I have a small gift for everyone for our Christmas podcast. So we have I would dare say religious follower in Canada. She listens to just about every one of our podcasts. And I don't know if I would call this our first piece of fan mail, but she sent me like a care package with a whole bunch of cool stuff in it. And one of the things she sent me is
please quit
a flavor of chip that is exclusive to Canada.
All right.
So they are ketchup lays. So I thought if everyone wanted a ketchup lay to try and review get that right with the microphone.
Man,
a Canada exclusive chip.
Oh yeah. You just shove right in there, Adam.
Whoa,
I'm taking multiple.
That is ketchup.
Good smell.
Yeah.
Good smell. Let's see.
It's purple.
Yeah, it is kind of purple instead of red, isn't it?
That
Wow.
just straight up smells like Heinz ketchup.
That is very ketchupy. Lingers on the tongue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Notes of tomato.
Do Canadians use ketchup?
Apparently on chips.
Huh.
Yeah. Like
That is a lot better than the last weird flavor I had.
right. Like, usually the weird flavors are just like they're terrible and they don't taste anything like the weird flavor. This one like legit tastes like ketchup.
I mean, I would not eat a full bag of it, but it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last one I had was a IHOP pancake flavor that a buddy of ours went to California, picked it up there, brought it back. It was a Tutti Frutti pancake flavor, and it was absolutely horrible.
Now, I've had ketchup edible panties, but they did not taste anything like that.
They didn't start out that way. Is this a standard flavor, or is this like a special flavor?
No, apparently it's standard. Apparently they just sell it all over the place. This is like one of two like Canada exclusive flavors. The other one being all dressed, which if you find an all dressed chip, that thing is heaven in a bag. Like nothing.
What's all dressed?
All dressed?
Yeah, all dressed is like kind of like barbecue, but doesn't have kind of that forward kick you in the balls barbecue flavor that barbecue does. It's very similar to if you find voodoo chips. I don't remember the name. I think it's like Frank's. If you find a flavor called voodoo, they taste very similar to voodoo chips. Just voodoo is a little bit tangier than all dressed. But yeah, very, very tasty.
Well, thank you for the care package.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I promise I will try and get rid of Adam so more people listen to the podcast.
Because of the chips, this segues into this episode's sponsor.
We toast them crisp, we toast them light, you can tell by the taste. We toast them, they're a tasty treat, so good to eat, delicious and light from Toastin'. Toastin'. And you know what? We like 'em.
All right.
Yeah, I guess that's not disingenuous at all to say you like your own product.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, portrayals of Santa in film and all media. Trivia time. Because we never do trivia on this show.
No, never
hate,
trivia.
Hate trivia.
Daniel,
Right.
this question's for you.
All right.
Only for Daniel. Tyler. In the Marvel Comics, Santa is possibly a what level mutant?
Omega.
Yes, that's correct.
He was Omega level mutant.
Supposedly Cerebro stated or something. Most powerful mutant ever registered.
Yep, that's true.
Tyler, this question's for you. In the
You don't give a. No one else can answer.
Nope.
Okay.
In Doctor Who, which Doctor claims Santa Claus was a name given to him, as well as El Diablo, Robin Hood, and Zorro?
Which Doctor?
Yeah.
The 9th Doctor once says that he was Santa Claus.
The 6th Doctor.
Oh. The 9th Doctor also
This
says
one-
that he was Santa Claus.
Dude next to me, Cody.
Dude
Next to you.
They don't celebrate Christmas. What holiday in
Heartwarming.
Can you explain what that is?
Hearts
A
swarming.
Heartwarming Eve. It is the holiday they celebrate when all the different types of ponies of Equestria were at each other's throats. So it is the holiday that they banished all the Wendigos because the Wendigos fed off negative emotions. So it got rid of all racism in the Ponylands.
Do you feel like we should get rid of all Wendigos here, and that would get rid of racism?
It might work.
But isn't that racist to get rid of all Wendigos?
So aren't Wendigos like cannibals?
In My Little Pony Lore, Wendigos are creatures that feed off of negative, hateful emotions.
But aren't
So,
you
in that
hateful by
universe-
getting rid of them? You're
Yeah,
being
but
hateful. Why don't you
I will
show
say-
them love and compassion?
I will say, like, this is...
That's like Adam with Asian people. I mean,
I will say this is a reoccurring thing in My Little Pony lore. Anytime there's usually a problem, you usually banish it to where it's not a problem anymore, or imprison it forever.
do you know what other group of people thought that if there was a problem, they should just get rid of it? Yeah. My Little Pony equals Nazis.
So they did the same thing with the Sirens. They banished them to another dimension. Tyrek, they banished him to Tartarus, along with a lot of other creatures that were causing problems. The Wendigos were banished. The Changelings... I can't hear what you're hearing.
Whatever you're doing with the microphone stand is creating feedback and it's rumbling in my headset.
Like, I am not hearing any
like
of
that.
that.
Yeah, like just like that, but on a much more.
Yeah,
It sounds like a T-Rex was like coming inside.
Gotcha.
Me.
My apologies.
Coming in.
You should be, but mostly you should be ashamed of your fandom because they just keep banishing people rather than try. But imagine,
But that Applejack ass.
okay,
But
that's
most
fine,
of
fine,
these,
that's fine.
most of these are before the main six's timeline.
Oh, gotcha.
After that, they usually
Applejack
tried to
never would have stood for that.
Yeah, and she didn't. That's why
Damn
after
right.
that they usually tried to reform everybody until the last season where they decided just to imprison people in stone again.
Like an apple ass.
Anyways.
So I have a bit of Christmas trivia.
Okay.
And this one is probably more for Tyler. But which DC supervillain stole Christmas?
Which DC supervillain stole Christmas?
Yeah. And he does so on a pretty regular basis when he found out about the idea of Christmas.
Larfreeze.
Yeah, you dick.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting ready to
Well,
say.
you asked. Like, you didn't say, hey, Tyler, answer this. You
He
said
did
you asked.
actually. He did
I
actually.
did, but okay, that's fine.
No, you said...
Yeah, so Larfleeze, the
Orange
Orange
Lantern.
Lantern.
Did he say
Yeah.
specifically Tyler? You're the only one that can answer.
We made
No.
full-on eye contact.
Well, they can't see that.
Well, we could.
Regardless, he's so greedy that he wants all the Christmas presents for himself, so
Mm-hmm.
he steals Christmas on a regular basis.
Also in the DC universe, the Easter Bunny hires Lobo to kill Santa Claus.
Does the main man do it?
I don't think he does because I think I didn't read it. I mean, I read what happened, but it was like bits and pieces of it. But I think Santa shivs Lobo. Like, don't quote me on that, but there was something
Like with a knife or a candy cane that he sucked off into
Santa sucked off the candy cane.
into
And
a
then-
point.
And then supposedly, I'm just gonna ignore you.
Okay.
And then I guess every year on Christmas, Santa breaks or sneaks into Apocalypse and leaves Darkseid cold. It was like a one shot, and I think it was just like meant to be funny.
And does Darkseid like it, or
No, he's mad.
no?
He doesn't want coal.
But it will help fuel the flames of the furnace that is Apocalypse.
No, Apocalypse runs on clean energy.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Neat.
I do know that Johnny Bravo and Santa Claus have a long-standing feud because Johnny Bravo mistakenly thought Santa Claus was trying to steal from him one time.
Doesn't he punch him in his face?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Johnny Bravo punches
he
Santa Claus?
He gives Johnny Bravo boxing gloves because
Yeah.
that was the episode where, of course, Christmassy they everything was rhyming,
Yeah.
and then the last scene is Santa Claus pulling up in a sleigh, looking through the window, and he basically says,
Round
I'll-
2's next year.
yeah, he's like, I'll kick your ass next year, and then flies away.
How did that show end? Like, what was?
I think they just ended it.
They didn't have like a special.
I don't think that show could ever exist today.
No, absolutely not.
At least not on a children's network. And then if you look at it through the lens of an adult, that's just reality TV.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably get that something like an Adult Swim, like where you've got the food show and
Well,
the metal show.
Well, Adult Swim has this weird. Either it's the stupidest fucking shit you've ever seen, or it's actually good.
What's one of the actually good ones?
Primal.
I don't even know
it
Adult
is,
Swim.
Yeah, so it is completely.
No, talk about me being hipster. That's the most hipsterish thing I ever fucking heard.
Yeah, no, the entire plot of the show is basically just a caveman in dinosaur times, and there is almost zero dialogue.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so it is zero dialogue, just sort
Tarkovsky, isn't
of
it?
telling stories through visuals of this guy surviving with this basically T-Rex-like dinosaur.
It's the dude who
Yeah.
did Samurai Jack, right?
Yes,
Oh, but that's all right.
yeah, so it is really fucking good.
Because Samurai Jack was really good.
Yeah, so-
was that an Adult Swim?
No.
No, Samurai Jack, well,
Did
it was a
Toonami?
regular show, and then
Toonami.
when they brought it back, it was Adult Swim.
Oh, okay.
Did he celebrate Christmas?
Samurai Jack?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I seem to remember a Christmas episode.
There was an episode where Aku tried to make himself off as the hero of the entire story, and it didn't work, and all the children just like Samurai Jack anyway.
You know what? You know what show has really good Christmas episodes? American Dad.
Yes.
I love.
I haven't seen
Have
it.
you guys seen them?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a long-standing feud between the Smith family and Santa Claus because the Smiths accidentally kill Santa one year, but he doesn't die, and so every Christmas Santa comes back trying to finish the job. And so there's a recurring thing. They bring Krampus into it.
Stan's dad becomes Krampus.
Yes, eventually.
Yeah.
Now the McFarlane Christmas one that I think of is like the very first.
When you wish upon a Jew.
No, it's When You Wish Upon a Weinstein.
Oh.
But it's an actual Christmas episode, and like everything's going wrong, and like the whole house is destroyed. Like Brian tries to take out the turkey, and like it catches on fire, and like he goes to put it out with a fire extinguisher, and Peter's replaced it with like prank fire extinguishers.
yeah.
Like everything's completely ruined, and the whole house is destroyed, and like Lois is like, she's perfectly fine, and she's like, Meg, get some paper towels, we'll clean it up. And then it's like, Meg's like, we don't have any paper towels.
Yeah.
And like she like loses her mind, like throws the couch through the window and like runs through the streets. And then it cuts back to the family and they're all standing there. And then Meg goes, oh, here's the paper towels.
Okay. So we talked about some of our favorite. What are, as far as Christmas movie goes, what are your likes, dislikes? I mean, what are the parts of Christmas movies you like? What are the parts of Christmas movies you don't like?
So I think the parts that I don't like are the cliche Christmas miracle.
The Hallmark ones?
You don't like
Yeah.
the Christmas Miracle?
No, not really. Like, that everything just kind of works out because it's Christmas.
What if that miracle is on 34th Street?
Still not a huge fan of Miracle on 34th Street.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about like the original one or the remake?
Let's see. The one that I saw was the one where instead of doing, I guess it would be the remake, 'cause it's not this is 4 trillion letters to Santa Claus. It's someone gives them $1 that with the "In God We Trust" circled.
Oh, see, I like the original one where like, you're watching it and you're just like, this guy's screwed. Like, there's no way to win. And then, like, he just completely lucks into it.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of Christmas miracle stuff that I don't really care for. Like,
You want a little bit more realism?
Yeah, I guess so. I want the character's actions to mean something. I don't want it just to be like, oh, and then on December the 24th, it snowed in Alabama for the first time, and douchebag McGee's heart warmed, and he saw Christmas for the first time in 45 years.
McGee.
So
and let it be known that he was never not a douchebag again.
So would you consider A Christmas Carol along those same lines, or you feel like it's got stuff that's causing him to change?
Well, so Christmas McGee's not in Christmas Carol. So
right.
Would you shut the hell up?
So Christmas Carol's fine because like the character's going through something that teaches him. Like it's a learning moment. He's experiencing like the point of Christmas, and his change is catalyzed by his actions. That I don't mind. That I like, because that is the kind of stuff that I enjoy in a Christmas movie. But for things just to randomly work out because tomorrow is December the 25th, just kind of was
like out of nowhere there was a last minute donation that saves everything.
Exactly.
Is that the leg lamp?
That's a Christmas Story.
Which one's Christmas Carol?
That's Ebenezer Scrooge.
You fucking idiot.
Oh, I only know it as the Muppets Christmas Carol. That's why I didn't know if that was the one he was talking about or not.
Yeah, I mean, all of them, but yeah, like there should be something that happens, and like the character's actions matter.
So do you like your Santa where he's like omniscient, like so like when I think of Santa Claus, I think of like, have you seen like the Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell?
Yes, I enjoyed
so
that quite a bit.
I like that Santa Claus where like you have like the issues, you know, which leads to the characters changing. Mm-hmm. But like in the way I watched that movie, like the first time I watched it, I was like, oh fuck, you know, now this is going wrong, now this is going wrong. And then you get to the end and you're like, he knew the whole damn time that everything was going to work. Like that's the type of Santa Claus that I like, where like he kind of like
he let
Jack
the
Sparrow,
bad stuff
like,
happen.
Like you think that he's an idiot, that he's gullible, but he's like really like 3 steps ahead of everything else.
Yeah, like I don't mind that. I don't know if I would say that's my preferred type of Santa Claus, but like I really enjoyed the Christmas Chronicle movies. The part for me is that Santa in general should be a happy kind of fellow. I don't like the grouchy.
Oh, I've been doing this too long.
Yeah,
you don't like
the
fat man.
Yeah, like there's a really famous terrible movie which is like I think it's Santa versus the Martians or something like that. And Santa Claus is just a douchebag to all the elves. He hates Jingle Bells. He's just a mean son of a bitch.
What was
I
that?
didn't care for that.
The Night They Saved Christmas.
Yeah, that was a weird.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of. It was The Night They Saved Christmas. I think.
They start like singing, like they start singing. Fuck, what did they sing?
Jingle Bells.
Oh yeah, and then he comes out and just starts yelling at everybody.
Yeah, that's the movie I'm thinking.
Sing
of.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He's like 2 seconds away from like, I'll rip out your fucking heart. Yeah,
but that's my favorite type of Santa Claus.
You see, I hate
the
that.
angry, the jaded Santa Claus.
Yeah. And I like him. I like him in the background. I like when Santa Claus is in the background and he's mysterious. Like,
but that's not mysterious. That's pissed off.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, okay, different type. So you like Robot Santa from Futurama, where he's constantly
because he's like more like where there was a book. Remember the book, the pop-up book we used to read?
'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
Yeah, that one was creepy. That was my favorite because he was creepy.
How was he creepy?
Because you'd do that slide thing, and he'd peer in the chimney.
I still don't think that's creepy.
Yeah, it's very scary.
Well, one of my favorite, not necessarily my favorite, but one of the favorite moments I've had in Christmas, things that I like portrayed, is a reason for the season. the reason for the season sort of storyline. So it's not just, oh, we got to save Christmas. No, it is not doing it to give something or to see somebody get something for like, hey, I got you something and I'm so excited you got me, but just the joy somebody sees from somebody else getting something. There's a movie out there called Arthur Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole point of that is it's got the old jaded Santa, because Santa is an inherited position in one family.
Yeah.
So you have the old Santa who's like about to retire, not wanting to retire. You have his son that has revolutionized the Santa Claus business, where Santa doesn't even really do the present thing anymore. You have the grandfather who's like, back in my day, we didn't need all this finery. And then you have the younger brother who's not really made out to be Santa Claus, but truly loves the spirit of Christmas. So you have this whole thing of just sort of different ideas what Christmas is supposed to be, efficiency. But I'm tradition, and you have what it used to be sort of atmospheres. And then in the end, Arthur becomes the next Santa Claus because he sees that he's actually getting true joy about getting a kid a present on Christmas.
Yeah, like a kid gets, it's ran through like this hyper efficient system, and like a kid gets forgotten, and like the whole movie is him like trying to make sure this kid gets a present, and like they all end up getting there at the same time, and then the three other Santas fight for who could get the kid the gift. And he's like, you don't get it. The whole point, you don't deserve the credit. It's just give the gift and be done with it.
Yeah, so that was one of the...
Is that the plot to Fred Claus, too?
Fred Claus is...
I think it's probably the first Fred Claus.
The Santa brother.
Took me a second.
Yeah, the brother of Santa Claus. And the whole point of that is living in...
Your brother's shadow.
Your family shadow, and like he tries to become big, but how can you compare to fucking Santa Claus? And then that also got what's his name?
Paul Giamatti?
No, the other one.
Vince Vaughn?
No, the other one. The guy that tries to shut down
Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, it has Kevin Spacey.
Who wanted a Superman cape, and that's why he doesn't like Santa Claus.
Yeah, because that speech there where he's talking about like Superman wore Clark Kent wore glasses, but behind him he's Superman. That whole speech still resonates me.
Wasn't he Lex Luthor?
Yeah, that's why it was funny. And it was around the same time that came out. But see, in that universe, like it's known that Santa Claus exists. I prefer the universe where
that brings up a question.
Because like in Miracle on 34th Street, like the entire movie, you're like, okay, it's just some guy that thinks he's Santa Claus. And then at the end, when they get the house, his cane is, at the fireplace. And the very last, it's the main character. He's like, maybe I didn't do such a good thing convincing.
No, what I'm saying is, my question is, if all these adults are like, grow up, Santa doesn't exist, you need to stop, it's time to grow up, and then Santa does exist. So do the parents not know that Santas exist? And if they think Santa doesn't exist as a kid, do they just grow up? And if Santa does exist, do they just eventually forget? But where are the presents coming from? Are they buying presents? Is Santa dropping off presents? Is there some sort of witchcraft going on where Santa's actually delivering the presents, but making the parents think?
Right, and that's one of those things that, like, in those movies, like, you get to see that in some places, but, like, in all of those movies where it's, like, the kids have to help Santa save Christmas or whatever, they always end with Christmas morning, the kids are opening gifts, they open up something from Santa, and the mom and dad both look at each other and go, I didn't get that, did you get that? I didn't get that.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, no,
and then credits roll.
I'd be like, who the fuck came in my house?
Yeah, exactly. like if that happened, no, sorry, Timmy, you don't get the sleigh. Yeah. The sleigh gets burned.
Yeah.
Like this whole thing of like sort of the Santa Claus mythology, I saw a comedy bit on YouTube a while back that was pretty funny. It was a guy interviewing like, so how do you get to everywhere in the world at the same time? You ever seen the movie Prestige? I go in one chimney and appear in every chimney in the world, and one of us is the real one. We all have a lactose intolerance. That's why if you eat cookies, they immediately die and turn into a slush.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah. What is that from?
It is a comedy bit on YouTube And yeah, so it's like, yeah, so the whole magic is like the Prestige. He goes in one chimney, like, I never know if I'm the one in the chimney, the real one in the chimney or not, and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking terrifying.
I love that. That is such a fantastic like addition to the lore or a change to the lore. I absolutely love that.
And then the whole see when you're sleeping thing, and like I know when you're awake because that's when you that's when I stop seeing you is when you go to sleep.
That T-Rex came back. Who's your favorite Santa Claus?
Like ever?
Ooh.
Just off the top of your head.
That's difficult.
Well, famous Santa Clauses we got.
Famous Santa.
We got Saint Nick. We've got Tim Allen.
So
he's a good one.
Should we go with just what portrayal of Santa Claus you like the best if we're not looking for just an actor?
I like.
Well, that's fine.
I like North from Rise of the Guardians.
Oh,
He's got like the giant Russian tats on him.
he's built like a fucking mule.
Yeah, like
Well, the reason I like that one is the reason he gives for why he's Santa Claus. Like the joy in a children's eye on Christmas Day.
well, and he's that character where he's like, you know, yes, I want to see these children have joy. He's like, but I'll also slit your fucking throat if you try and take that joy away from them.
If you wake up, if you get out of bed,
No,
I swear to God, I'll fucking cut you.
Not the kids, but I'm like, he's like, I will fucking like rip your heart out if you try and hurt any of these kids.
Okay, all right. What about the Santa from Ernest?
From Ernest? Yeah, I mean he's good, but I mean he doesn't really do a whole lot of Santa-ing.
He gets arrested like right
Because
away,
he's on the downhill slope. He's headed out the door.
That is a good Santa. I do like him as Santa.
I mean he's good, but like I said, I don't think he does.
What about Ernest as Santa? Would Ernest make a good Santa Claus?
Fuck no.
The whole point of that movie is how he wasn't able to do the job, right?
He couldn't even name all the reindeer.
What did he say? I used to remember what all of them.
I don't know. He got like the first 4, and then he's like Blitzkrieg.
What about Tim Allen then?
Tim Allen, I like the series. Did you? They made a TV show and they fixed the plot hole in the first one,
Which was what?
the Santa falling off the roof, and then he becomes Santa.
Yeah,
and everyone's like, do the elves not even give a shit that just there's this new guy there? And everyone's like, you know, what happened to when the second one where he's got to get married, they're like, what happened to the Mrs. Claus of the previous Santa?
Yeah.
So you find out in the series that the actual Saint Nicholas, the real life person, when he started giving gifts, they worded as that injected true magic into the world, and all different Santa Clauses have all been ethereal beings. Like they're not real people. They're just the spirit of Christmas.
So he's the first real one?
Yeah. So then like he goes into what they call the Yule verse, which is their like afterlife, and you see like all these different versions of Santa Claus. So like as things change, like
tradition and what.
Yeah, so like Krampus is there, and like the Santa Claus before him is like, I had to go through the Great Depression and giving gifts and like this. He goes, we decided that pompous ethereal beings that don't know anything about real life humans, we needed a human being to do this job. So he's the first human being. So that's why the elves don't give a shit when he just appears, because they're like, whatever, Santa Claus changes all the time. He's not a real actual being.
Okay.
Neat.
And so like they set up all 3 of the original movies to test him and prepare him to be that perfect version, I guess.
Oh.
Who's Jack Frost in the Santa mythos?
Martin Short.
No, I know, but like just in general, is he like a spirit of Christmas, or is
he
like...
heralds a season? That's what they say. So he doesn't get a holiday. He just is.
He's the one that says, "Hey, season's coming."
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, it's winter time now."
Okay, I'm going back home.
Yeah, pretty much.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, that's what he's supposed to do, and then he he tries to become Santa Claus.
Huh.
Makes it Frostmas.
Can you name all the reindeer?
Chet. There is a reindeer named Chet in the Santa Claus franchise. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, Rudolph, Chet.
What about Larry?
Leroy, the
Leroy.
redneck reindeer.
Yeah, that's what it was.
By Joe Diffie.
You know he's dead.
Joe Diffie?
Yeah, he died.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
Google it.
2020 or 2021.
Oh.
He's buried right next to Rowan Atkinson. No, he actually is dead though.
No, I did not.
What about you know who became like the Joker of the Christmas world? Fucking Krampus. That motherfucker was everywhere for a while. You know, so, didn't believe me. I was right, wasn't
Yeah.
I? God,
Merry Christmas. He's dead.
Well, this sadness brings up one of my other favorite Christmas movies that I've only seen a few times, but I love, and it absolutely makes me sad every time, The Christmas Shoes. You guys ever heard of that?
Yeah, that's new.
The Christmas Shoes?
The Christmas Shoes. So it was a kid, his mom's terminally ill. His dad, they have no money because they're paying for all of her medical bills. And the last thing, he wants to get her a present for her last Christmas. So he's saving up for these clearance red shoes that he thinks his mom would like. And so when he goes to buy them eventually, he doesn't have enough money because they weren't on clearance.
So he steals them.
No. A guy in line, it's like a $5-10 difference, like here, because he's also shopping that same day. And kid says thank you. He gets his mom the red shoes. His mom and dad dance one last time, and she passed away. And then 10 years later, they both just walking, and he notices the guy. Like, I know this was probably a small thing to you, but it was the last beautiful memory I had with my mother about this, and I actually became a doctor because of it. And sort of just that one act of random kindness is what saved his last Christmas with his mom. And it just fucking absolutely wrenches your heart because you expect that Christmas miracle. Oh, and no.
Yeah. Does he give him the $10 back?
What a jackass. He's a doctor. And he doesn't even pay him back?
I don't remember that part.
What a dick. Then that guy that gave him the $10 probably has to have like some medical operation done. And he's like, jack the price up. I gotta buy some more red shoes, just in case.
You're kind of ruining a Christmas memory for me, guys.
And I became a doctor so I would never have to worry about not having money for shoes again.
Did you know in the original of the Santa Claus script, Tim Allen's character was supposed to shoot Santa Claus with a shotgun?
How bad is so good like that?
That's been so good.
So he chained him?
He's just like, well, I mean, they live in the suburbs of Chicago, so somebody was going to shoot him.
Just red and green mist him.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Why is his blood red and white? Oh,
Damn.
my God, it's peppermint.
Yeah, what if his blood did smell like peppermint?
Maybe it does.
Maybe it does.
What do you got?
Technology used to travel and disperse the toys. What are some of your favorite explanations? What are some of the dumbest? Or do you even like it when they just buy patent and say, don't worry about it, it's Christmas?
So, I do like the, don't worry, we're not going to explain it.
Okay.
Like, that doesn't bother me any. Like, but to the unfeasibleness of it, I appreciate. You know, and them just being like, it works. But if they're going to explain it, my favorite explanation comes from a Disney, I think it's Disney animated, Prep and Landing.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that is absolutely fantastic.
What's this?
So the idea is that there is a team of elves that come down the chimney before Santa shows up, and they prepare the house for Santa's arrival so that Santa can get in and out quickly. So,
Jeez,
like,
those fuckers are busy.
Yeah, so when Santa hits a town, dozens upon hundreds of these elf teams paratroop in and prepare the houses, and then Santa comes and hits the houses. So like they make sure the milk is properly chilled so he doesn't get food poisoning. If there's a dog, they put the dog to sleep. They
kill it?
God!
They kill the dog?
Yeah.
if necessary.
Slit its fucking throat.
Don't worry, you got a new puppy for Christmas.
That's how John Wick started.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. They make sure the stockings aren't like
Hung
crumpled. They're making sure they're not crumpled up, so they hit them with like a little bit of air and they poof them out so that Santa can just come in and drop shit in.
Is that where the term boofing comes from?
Yes.
I'm curious about the origin of words.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that's my favorite.
When did this come out?
It's I don't know.
They're old.
Yeah, 10,
they're like
15 years.
They're like 30-minute shorts.
Yeah, there's two of them. The first one is about like the prep and landing team, and then one of the elves is kind of disgruntled, so he kind of says, "Fuck this, I'm not doing it."
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of shows off like the importance of the job, and then the second one is like a spy thriller kind of style, if I remember right.
There's the second one where you find out the main one has a younger brother that works. So there's prep and landing, and then there's coal elves, where if you're naughty, they deliver coal, and then that one is how his brother always thinks that it's like a brother story, and then there's one where like Mrs. Claus, voiced by Betty White, is
She's dead too,
I knew that.
is trying to like make a
And the
present
world
for
is
Santa
worse
Claus,
off
and they've
for
got to
it.
sneak into his workshop.
Wait, there's a third one?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen the third one. I've only seen the first two. I need to watch the third one.
I like.
Are they on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Huh.
I like the Kids Next Door Christmas, their version. So you find out they make a whole bunch of X-Men Marvel
Kids
references.
Next Door. Is that the superhero?
Codename Kids Next Door.
It's like the James Bond kids.
There for a while, when you say Kids Next Door, there for a while I was picturing that SNL Canadian group, Kids Down the Hall.
The Dick in the Box people?
No.
So in that universe, I'm just ignoring you.
Okay.
The
Boofed.
the evil kids steal
Kids from down the lane.
So Santa uses it's called the reindeer system.
Okay.
He doesn't actually leave the North Pole. It's basically a knockoff of Cerebro. So he's got like this belt with all like the reins for reindeer, and he stands in like an X-Men 2000 like Cerebro dome, and that connects to every single fireplace in the entire world, and that's how all the presents get delivered.
I'll be writing this down for next Dead Air X-Men trivia.
They do, because they've got
Wolverine with candy
his name's Wintergreen.
Yeah.
Then they've got Nutcracker, who is Nightcrawler. They've got Snow Angel, which is Angel, and then they've got Coniferous, which is Colossus, and then they go up against they're like different teachers, and they're based off the Fantastic Four. Like one is like Mr. Physically Fit, which is Mr. Fantastic. No, it's all fine. I'm not trying to tell here, and he's just not even paying attention.
That sounds pretty awesome to me. So is this like a Christmas movie from the show, or is
So
this
it's-
like just a Christmas episode?
It's a Christmas episode, and they do like they've got the Stan Lee type character where he's like, welcome true believers and thrill seekers, and that's like the ongoing narration.
Mm-hmm.
But like the whole point is we have to save Christmas type thing, and like I said, it's just interesting to think. He's like, I'm just in one spot and connects to all these different houses. Doesn't have to go anywhere. Will you put your phone on silent?
I know, right?
Jesus,
it's like 2 episodes and 3 phone rings today. Yeah. So that sounds really cool. And you said it's the Christmas episode from Kids Next Door.
Make sure if you Google it, you watch how you put it, because how they do, like, all of their episode titles are acronyms. So, like, it's Operation Naughty, and then, like, cause
Oh, no.
yeah, because it says, because it'll say, like, Operation Naughty, and then, like, the naughty, like, runs down the screen, and then it'll be, like, nice something, 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 and, like, it, furthers the plot. And I was not paying attention to what I was doing, and I was typing it in, and I was like, naughty kids next, and I was like, no. I was like Operation Naughty KND, which is an acronym for the show, and I was like, barely made that one. That could have been bad.
Right.
Another one on Disney Plus is 'Twas the Night, which has a younger Bryan Cranston.
Ooh.
They do, Santa Claus has the ability to stop time. He has like an ornament, and he pushes a button, like the second he comes down the chimney, stops time, does his business, leaves.
Well, one of my other ones is Nickelodeon had the Fairly Odd Parents back in the day, and how they explained how Santa Claus had the magic is that magic to make Christmas happen was all the fairies of Fairy World gave up their magic to Santa Claus, so he'd have the power to do Christmas. And then Timmy had a wish that he wished it was Christmas every day, and so after that fact, he couldn't wish it back because all the fairies had no magic. And so all the other holidays teamed up in sort of like an Avengers, Expendables-like team to go take down Santa Claus, so they could actually have their holidays happen.
Yeah, because they want to banish him to February 33rd.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, like, other holidays that are in, like, Christmas movies, I really, really wished that the Nightmare Before Christmas, like, franchise, like, extended out and you got to see what was behind the other trees. Like,
have you seen the Adult Swim where, like, he goes into the Hanukkah door?
no.
He goes into the Hanukkah door, and he's just like, he starts singing, and then, like, he looks in a window, he's like, what the fuck is this? I don't think there's a comic book, either a prequel or a sequel to it, because you find out how Jack becomes the Pumpkin King. But
I think there's a video game.
Yeah, but I don't think you find out anything else behind. Like, there's no hints as to any of the other doors or anything.
Yeah, because if I remember right, there was like a St. Patrick's Day door and a Thanksgiving door and a Valentine's Day door.
Valentine's Day leads to a strip club.
I mean, it's got to.
Yeah.
St.
Got
Patrick's
to.
Day is
A bar.
from Boondock Saints.
Actually, I just watched that the other day.
It'd be interesting to see, but I kind of feel like, what's the storyline, though?
Oh, I don't know what the storyline would be. I just want to see what's behind the other doors.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be cool to see those other worlds.
That's why I like the Rise of the Guardians, because you have, like, the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy and all this stuff, and, like, the Easter Bunny and
Yeah, we're
Santa
going
Claus
to Easter Island.
are the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus are going after who's better and who's.
Didn't Grant Morrison do a Claus comic book that you were reading for a little bit?
Yeah.
Was that about Santa, or was that just
that was about Santa? Yeah, and it's got your buddy Krampus in it. Krampus is the bad guy.
Of course.
It's set in, like, I would say, vague medieval times, and this town where he's from sits upon Krampus's cage, like where he was trapped, and Santa Claus I think he's called Klaus, is framed for whatever. He's framed for a murder, and this guy's influence through Krampus, and, like, ends up under the guise of digging for coal, and that's where that came from, and that's how he gets released, and, like, Klaus ends up becoming, like, imbued with the spirit of Christmas. Like, he starts breaking into the town and, like, leaving behind little gifts for kids, and, like, there's, like, a 2-page spread where he doesn't have magical reindeer. He's got magical wolves pulling his sleigh, and he has a broadsword, and he, like, jumps out of the sleigh and says ho ho ho, and, like, slices off Krampus's head midair.
Damn.
It's multi books, but I only got the first one.
All right, that sounds pretty
Is
sweet.
it
But-
pretty tame for Grant Morrison?
Yeah.
I'll say it sounds pretty.
I mean, there's like a weird like acid trip scene in it, where like they catch him and they leave him outside in the elements, the exposure to die, and like something happens, and like there's like this weird acid trippy couple of pages, and then the next thing you know, like he's that's how he gets imbued with the spirit of Christmas, and then he's immortal and can't die. But like you also find out that his mother died. He was orphaned, and like his mom like was holding him outside in the freezing snow, and like she died, but he survived.
Okay.
That sounds pretty sweet.
Before we continue, I want to take a right turn.
Did you yield?
We're gonna take a
Is
right turn.
it a right on red?
There's a cul-de-sac, so we'll come back. But what are some of your favorite, or what are some movies that you watch during Christmas time that aren't necessarily Christmas but make you feel like Christmas, or Christmas adjacent movies? Example: I always watch The Thing every winter holiday because it's and it's snow, and it just reminds me of Christmas. Like I for whatever reason, like I never watched the movie any other time. That's Christmas. The Box, I watched that as well.
I watched Snow Dogs.
What's your relation to the box to Christmas? A box present. There you go.
No, there's a scene where one of the. Have you guys seen The Box?
That's the one where like aliens and like you open the box or push the button on the box and someone dies, but something good happens to you or something like that.
Yeah, so there's like a hive mind, right? And one of the guys who get caught up in the hive mind is a Santa Claus on the corner of the street. And he goes from, the Salvation Army guy, he goes from just being joyful to getting caught up in the hive mind, and then all of a sudden he's doing this really creepy. That's a bell. He's ringing a bell.
Yes, a visual gesture.
Yeah. Anyway, so those are the two. I didn't know if what are some of
Snow Dogs, for the same reason, like it's a winterist movie to me.
Is that the one where they talk, or is that the one with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Cuba Jr. You're thinking of 8 Below, I think.
8 Below. I
That's
thought it was
Paul
5
Walker.
Below.
That's Paul Walker. 8 Below.
What?
Paul Walker's in the movie 8 Below.
Oh, I thought he was 6 feet below.
Oh.
Wow. Too soon.
Sorry, too soon.
Too soon.
It's all about the family. Vin Diesel's gonna pop out of the window. Hey, what'd you say?
What was it? So Snow Dogs for just sort of the winter atmosphere.
Okay.
I don't know if I have any non-Christmas movies that I watch around Christmas time.
Yeah, the only ones I can think of that I tend to watch, and not even always, but just on occasion, are the Lord of the Rings movies.
Ugh.
They have elves in them.
Well, yeah, they have elves in them, but because when they were coming out in theaters, they came out every December.
Oh, okay.
When they were, like, all 6 of them came out in December, I think.
That was back when December was a dump for bad movies, right?
I don't think so. I always remember it being like a Christmas blockbuster kind of release.
Yeah, like that was the thing for a while because theaters were one of the few things that are open around those holidays, and they knew at least everybody should be off from work and school, so more people would actually go and see.
Well, I guess it was Star Wars because we would go see the sequel trilogy like every year on Christmas when it started coming out.
Okay.
But
Justice League came out then too.
did it?
Yeah, but no one watched that.
I saw it. It was not. Wasn't too happy.
It wasn't as good as Batman v Superman.
And that's saying something.
What about okay, so we're hitting the cul-de-sac, we're coming back towards Christmas movies. What about like evil Santa movies? Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Like the only one that comes to mind is Krampus for me.
Yeah, that's the only one that I can think of that I watch.
And like Krampus at this point is getting a little it's like people rediscovered the idea of Krampus, and then it's sort of like that zombie trend we had where there was 15 fucking mentions of zombies and everything. There was 15 Krampus appearing in pop culture now is a lot more than probably I feel like it should be and is played out.
Oh yeah, Krampus kind of exploded in the pop culture for a long time. I agree with that. It was kind of cool when he was Oh god, that's the most hipster fucking sentence I was going to form ever. It was cool before people knew about him.
Yep.
And then he kind of started getting played out. But the one like big budget Krampus movie that came out was fucking solid, and I still watch it like on a regular basis.
What was the dude from Parks and Rec?
I don't know. I
Adam.
don't watch Parks and Rec.
Adam.
It's like
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Yeah.
it's like a family, and then like their extended family comes to stay with them, and then they all get snowed in, and the daughter gets like froze out trying to go sleep with her boyfriend, and
As you do.
then there was like the evil gingerbread man and the dragon in the attic, and
Jesus.
the Jack in the Box snake, evil snake thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Goldberg an evil Santa Claus?
Sleigh,
Because
sleigh bells. No, that don't sound right. Something sleigh. They changed sleigh into like SLAY, but I don't remember.
Because I thought Goldberg was an evil Santa, and then the only one that I really remember is and I've never watched it, but I remember being in Blockbuster around Christmas, and you tried to convince me to put my vote in for Rare Exports.
Rare Exports.
Santa's sleigh.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Oh,
That's a good movie, by the way. You should watch it.
not necessarily like a horror one, but Bad Santa.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, was it Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's got like one of the greatest closers ever. Is when he's writing the letter to the kid, and he's like, "And I'm sorry, it's covered in blood and stuff, but you kind of did the same thing to me because he gave him the carved pickle."
Never seen it.
Like the kid was trying to carve a piece of wood into a pickle. They never explain why.
Clearly.
No, best movie is one. It's got Donald Logue in it, so you know it's badass. Two, it's got Jamie Bell in it. It's Silent Night. This dude takes a old like vintage, retro-looking Santa Claus mask, and he has a fucking flamethrower. How badass is a killer Santa Claus with a flamethrower?
That's pretty sweet.
Yes, watch that movie, Silent Night.
What's that one? Reindeer Games,
Oh yeah.
where they're trying to knock over the casino.
Ben Affleck, Gary Sinise.
What about Jingle All the Way, where you have the evil Santa Clauses that are like selling knockoff toys?
Yeah,
That's pretty funny.
the Santa Cartel.
And then what's the one with David Harbour? that
Does
just came out?
yeah, I was just about to mention that one. I haven't seen
It's like
it yet.
it's basically like Die Hard, but with Santa Claus.
Yeah, like Santa breaks up a kidnapping.
Violent,
Yeah.
It's Violent Night or something.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but every year I think about like, oh, I should watch that.
Does Turbo Man have any lore to it, or is
No.
it no one created lore to it?
Yeah, I think it was made for the movie.
Well, I know, but I didn't know if
He has a pet like giant purple lion sidekick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a bipedal cringer.
Yeah, and
I
Yes,
remember I
it
had
is.
the Turbo Man toy, and it was the coolest fucking thing. And they started making them again, and then they took them off the shelves like almost immediately.
like that was one of the also like the subverting reality thing. They actually wouldn't have done that in real life when they made the suits actually do.
You mean to tell me that during a Macy's Day Parade that they would not have built a working jetpack to,
I
right?
distinctly remember them when they
Macy's
did.
goes all out.
Yeah, Buzz Lightyear definitely had a working jetpack when he was in the Macy's Day Parade.
Yeah.
Next, you're going to tell me those balloons aren't real either. Jesus.
Where's your Christmas spirit,
God.
Cody? What the hell?
He left
So
his other
skeptical.
pants.
Did you know that Bruce Campbell played Santa Claus?
In what movie?
The Librarian series.
He played like legit Santa.
So he played. Has anyone seen The Librarians?
I saw the first Librarian.
I saw the first as well.
Is that
so-
Noah Wiley?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's the 3 Librarians movies, or the Librarian movies, and then they made a series called The Librarians, and it's like 4 seasons, and there's an episode where the villains steal Santa's sleigh, and you find out that Santa doesn't deliver presents. Throughout the year, Santa goes around and he absorbs like all of humanity's goodwill and hope throughout the year, and then on Christmas Eve he splinters himself through all of time and space, and gives hope and good cheer to people that need it. And Bruce Campbell plays Santa Claus, and he wears like a weird red, not like a Santa hat, like a weird red hat. And you find out that that's his talisman. It keeps him intact with his current incarnation. So at one point they take it off of him, and he starts to like morph into his different versions. Like at one point, like someone takes off their shoes, and like he like becomes invisible and like fills their shoes with presents. And then they go to a bar, and he turns into like Odin and starts like just beating the holy shit out of people.
That's pretty cool.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
The man, the Chin Wonder.
Interesting.
That's a pretty cool like lore behind that. That actually reminds me of a one shot that I ran once where that was kind of the premise, was that there was an evil fairy that was like siphoning the charity and goodwill and hope from mankind in hopes of ruining Christmas. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what other. Oh shit!
Okay, here we go.
He put up his finger.
This is one of our favorite.
Screen Rant.
Yeah,
there it
Yeah,
is.
he's actually gotten written down here.
Look up-
Look at Screen Rant.
Look at Screen Rant.
Screen Rant, and then we're going to rank her next.
Ranker.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
good to know.
all right.
All right.
10 common Santa Claus tropes in movies that subvert them.
Okay.
All right, we got he's a man. I guess apparently in Noel 2019 turned out Santa Claus was a female.
It becomes Anna Kendrick. It's the Arthur Christmas thing. In that universe, it's passed down, but like they only pass it down to the male, and like I think Bill Hader is the male Santa, the male heir Santa, and he's like, I don't want to do it, and so then it ends up going to Anna Kendrick.
How come every time I click remove ads, it just gives me more ads?
I don't know
Because you're clicking on the ads.
He's secretive. The Christmas Chronicles 2018.
Well, why would you want him to be?
In most renditions of Santa Claus, he is secretive about his identity and goes around avoiding waking up children as he delivers presents on Christmas Eve. In these films, Santa normally avoids interacting with people, blah, blah, blah. But the case of Christmas Chronicles doesn't know at first that the two children, so he enlists them and crashes and needs magic, blah, blah, blah. It's one of the best Santa Claus movies and offers a fresh, entertaining Santa that is more modern compared to other renditions of this legend.
They are fantastic movies.
But
is it the second one? They have the song and dance in the jail.
No, that's the first.
Is
one.
that the first one?
That's
Yeah,
the first one
I love
where
that.
he does the Santa. I think it's Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah.
Where he basically becomes Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing, I mean, he gives his identity for a reason. Like it's to teach a lesson. It's not like it's not like he's just like, oh hey, how's it going?
Claus.
Okay.
I'm Santa Claus.
Next trope is he's immortal. The Santa Claus 94.
Oh, yeah, we're eating an eye, and Tim Allen comes first.
Yeah, but that's not
Shoots
like
with a
the only
shotgun.
one
But
that
it seems
does
like
that.
it seems like there's like an even split where it's either one guy who's immortal or it's some kind of succession story. I mean, I think
Yeah.
you could
Is that the
Ernest-
plot of that TV show?
what, Succession?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, I gotta watch it. Have you seen that?
We'll see what?
Succession.
No.
Apparently it's about Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
So-
Ernest Saves Christmas, that's finding a new Santa. Arthur Christmas. I mean, there's probably just as many, replacement Santa Claus. The Replacements? Is that what that movie's about?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah, and Keanu Reeves becomes Santa.
Yeah.
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 Whoa.
John Wick is a prequel to Go ahead.
Nope, I lost it. Go ahead.
Next trope is he's magical. The Nightmare Before Christmas 93.
I mean, he's magical. He's just like
He levitates out of there.
yeah. I don't know.
I mean, what do you
wouldn't
want
say
him-
he's not magical in Night Before Christmas.
I'm just
fuck you, Screen Rant.
got wrong.
How dare you ruin our podcast?
Next trope is he's jolly.
Oh, so this goes back to you where he has to be an
There's-
asshole.
There's just as many There's a ton of asshole, jaded Santa
I
Claus.
hate the jaded Santa.
This
I
one's
remember
from
what I was
Elf.
going to talk about now.
Oh, go ahead.
So when we're talking about the immortal Santa Claus, there's a comic book, and I don't remember what it's called. It's probably like The Final Christmas or The Last Christmas or something like that. And it's post-apocalyptic, and Santa Claus like has no people, like society's collapsed, the world's destroyed, and he is sustained by the belief in him. And I remember thinking that's a really cool idea, that there's like one person left alive that believes in Santa keeping him around.
And does he know where he's at?
Yeah,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I remember reading it, and like in the first, I don't know, handful of issues, Santa Claus like tries to self-immolate with a can of gasoline and can't die because of it.
Jesus.
So like the plot is not like he goes out there to find that person's Christmas spirit to rekindle it. No, he goes out there to murder him so he can commit suicide.
That's why I was like, please
Jesus.
die, kid. I'm tired.
Right, and I remember like reading like that was probably one of the few like books where I'm like, I'm not gonna finish this. Like that would be something that would normally be up my alley for anything else, but that one turned me off.
Big fan of self-emulation.
Emulation.
So a kind of like down the lane type of Santa Claus, because you said you don't like the jaded one.
Right.
Ed Asner as Santa Claus and Elf.
Oh, that's this one.
Because
Right
he's not jaded, but he's kind of pissed off. He's people don't believe in Christmas anymore. And the scene that I go to is when he's stranded in the park because the jet turbine isn't working. There's no Christmas spirit. And Buddy comes up and like taps him on the shoulder, says something, and he like whips around like he's gonna just beat the ever living shit out of him. And he's like, "Oh, hey, it's you."
Remember, anything when it says it's a peep show, it's not about seeing a gift before Christmas.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that either.
You haven't seen Elf?
I haven't seen Elf.
I'm with you, Adam. I haven't seen it either.
Oh, it's good.
Well, you don't really like Will Ferrell, do you?
I'm not a huge
Ferrell.
Will
fan.
what?
Will Ferrell.
Ferrell is a completely different person.
He's
Yeah.
always happy, apparently.
Yeah, Elf is one of those things that became like an instant Christmas classic when it came out, and I'm just like, eh. Like, even the clips I've seen from it aren't great. They're just like, eh.
Does that guy got bones or New Girl?
Do what?
Elf. Does that guy got bones or New Girl?
New Girl.
Hopefully he has bones.
I didn't
But
know.
she's blonde, so it looks really weird.
Oh, okay. Next trope is he's the one and only, and they use Fred Claus for.
Well, he doesn't. We've kind of already did that one.
Well, that falls on the. I mean, he's the.
Be mad at Screen Rant.
Will
Don't be
you
mad at
chill?
me.
I don't. I mean, how many different Santa Clauses do you? I'm assuming it means like that's it. Like, there's not like an army of Santa Clauses. To which I can't really think of a.
So is it more like, instead of being a team, is somebody takes over for Santa Claus for Christmas? Is that what they're probably going for?
Well, I mean,
if they're using Fred Claus, it's probably like someone to.
but if they're using Fred Claus, I mean, Fred Claus is
Not Santa Claus.
Well, in Fred Claus, he's immortal because he becomes a saint, and in that universe, when you become a saint,
your direct family also becomes immortal.
you become immortal. So I don't really understand what they're going for there.
No,
Don't read it word for word.
We'll write Screen Rant.
Yeah,
Okay.
how dare they mess up
next
the
trope-
words that we're stealing from them?
Next trope is he's beloved.
That goes with the jaded
Well,
thing.
there's-
Yeah, no, I
No, people love him.
Oh.
Everyone loves Santa
I mean, I feel like that's a trope that should hang around. Like
because that kind of gives it a plot.
right, like
Yeah.
people should not hate. There's no reason for people to hate Santa.
Well, and the using of that trope is there's that one guy who wants to take Santa Claus down. So like Fred Claus, the IRS guy that's trying to shut down the North Pole because he didn't get something for Christmas. Like, so there's
Like,
that one-off guy who
that
hates
always
Christmas
seems-
because...
That always seems to be the rationale they use in movie. Like Fred Claus, like the first Santa Claus movie, like that's everyone's go-to of I don't believe in Santa Claus because I asked for this and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
But did you get a bunch of other?
I'm like,
random
you
stuff?
greedy son of a bit. Like
I know, right?
that's your big whininess.
What?
No,
off,
I think,
off,
like-
off the top of your dome right now.
7.
What is one thing you've asked for Christmas that you didn't get?
I wanted a guitar, and I found it in Mom and Dad's closet, and I was super excited, and then my oldest brother got the fucking guitar.
Okay.
I wanted a Super Nintendo when the Super Nintendo first came out, and I didn't get a Super Nintendo. But I did get a PlayStation when the PlayStation came out.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm a little weird. I was always told not to wish for the moon. So I was told to keep my expectations in check for Christmas. So I usually got what I asked for because I didn't ask for the moon.
Well, I was also like 8 or something. So I also asked for like a computer and a cell phone and like 50 other things that I knew I was never going to get. But
yeah, I was kind of told with a grain of salt, like, be careful what you ask for.
Or I'll cut your throat in your sleep.
Yeah.
Sort of feeling.
But like that seems like that's the like in the Fat Man, the Mel Gibson one. Like the kid is pissed off and because he gets coal, so he hires a hitman to kill Santa.
In that movie, does it if it ruins it? Because I kind of want to watch it, but it doesn't matter. Is he like legitimately Santa Claus, or is he just some? Is he actually Santa?
They, as far as I can remember, they don't do any like magic or anything like that. Like,
but I mean, is he
like the government knows that he exists?
So he's legit. He's not like, dude, I'm not really Santa.
No.
Look at
yeah, he is Santa.
Oh, okay.
But they don't hint that he's like magical Santa that I can remember.
So would it be the United States probably if like it turned out Santa was real, he'd be part of the United States government probably.
No,
I think they would have arrested him.
Really?
Would have shot him
yeah,
down.
for subverting multiple tax laws, making stuff for nothing.
He
like,
flies through
like
airspace
all the working.
all
Like
But how does
if
Willy
you're giving
Wonka
away
get
all your
away with
product and your workers are
with what?
working for basically no
Subverting
pay,
tax laws.
for basically just room and board, they got rid of those sort of situations in America for a reason.
I mean,
But
that is fair.
What's the laws in North Pole though? Like who owns?
Nobody owns it.
I guess it'd have to depend on what land he's on.
Well, technically, wouldn't Canada own it?
The North Pole?
Like, I don't know. Like, who technically owns the North Pole?
I don't believe there's any land in the North Pole to own. I think it's all ice.
Yeah.
I think the South Pole is the only one with
The
actual land.
Yeah, the South Pole's carved up, and then I think they signed a treaty that you can't lay
Try and own it.
claim to any more land in the South Pole.
Yeah. But yeah, I think like if Santa was real, the government would
Was?
Well, he is.
Was?
Sorry.
God.
We're a children's podcast.
Yeah, god damn it. What the fuck?
Do you not remember us talking into dicks
Okay,
earlier?
so North Pole's not owned by anyone. And there is parts of the North Pole that are claimed to be owned by certain countries overseas.
That's it. I'm
okay.
buying the North Pole.
Yeah.
But who owns the ice wall? Because we're a flat planet. So
Don't you fucking start. That is the one thing I will not abide by.
Hey, will you let Daniel talk?
Yeah, I will.
It doesn't matter. I lost it again.
Way to go, Dick.
Yeah, like I remember the
Santa
immortal
was
thing.
real, if Santa was real, the United States government.
Going back to the.
So what I
sorry,
think-
bridging off of that. Fuck off. Bridging off of that back to the guy who hates Santa always comes from like not getting the gift as a kid. Are there other motivations other than even like the only one I can think of that isn't that is Ebenezer Scrooge?
He saw Mama kissing Santa, pissed him off.
Because
In what movie?
No, I thought you meant could there be?
Yeah. I mean that would be legit. Like if
Santa Claus
kissed mom and
ruined his family.
Well,
Yeah,
I
and,
think
like-
they have made.
Dad got divorced from mom because he saw her kissing Santa. Like that's legit.
Have you
okay.
seen that SNL sketch
The Dick in the
where
Box?
they do they do mommy kissing Santa Claus, and it turns out like it's Scarlett Johansson, and like it's all part of like their kink to watch. He watches his wife make out with Santa Claus, and then like the dad like
Was the husband this fuck from
No.
Weekend Update? 'Cause that
no,
would've been hilarious.
it was one of the other guys,
Oh.
and like they're singing like the entire song this whole time, and then Cecily Strong is playing the daughter, and she's like, I'm realizing that I'm like just as weird because I get off on watching people when I shouldn't be watching people. It's really funny.
Well, I think this trope I haven't seen a lot, but I remember seeing it once, but I can't remember where I see it, where it's the Jewish kid that doesn't like Christmas because his holiday isn't celebrated as big as Christmas. Like, I can't remember where I remember it from, but I remember that being a reason one time.
Okay. All right, that would be interesting. That a little bit of like holiday jealousness, like, oh, everyone talks about Santa and Christmas, but no one talks about Hanukkah and
Whatever
the
Kwanzaa is.
golem that brings gifts. I don't know.
Hanukkah Zombie.
Hanukkah zombie, is that what it is?
It's Hanukkah Zombie voiced by Mark Hamill.
Yeah. I don't mean to be insensitive. That just shows you exactly how little I know about.
Well, I don't think the Hanukkah zombie's a real thing.
Yeah, he is. He's in Futurama.
No, in Futurama, yes, but I don't think it's a real thing. Like, I believe.
Hey! I am Jewish. I know about this type of stuff.
Well, no,
I've heard that about you.
like, if I remember
Uncut.
right,
Yeah.
Hanukkah stems from.
You're one of the few Native American Jews I know.
Yeah.
I think Hanukkah stems from that old story of making lantern oil last more than one night.
Yeah.
8 days.
So.
Oh, I thought Daniel was raising his hand.
No, sorry, I'm stretching my shoulder.
Daniel's like, I'm not losing it this time. Someone's gonna fucking call on me.
Ooh!
Ow.
What is another reason for someone to hate Santa?
Like, I felt like legitimately, Ebenezer Scrooge had a reason to do it.
Wait, was Santa in Ebenezer's?
No, he just hated Christmas.
He just hated Christmas.
Yeah, and frankly, Ebenezer Scrooge had a reason because like nobody like he had no family that took care of him during Christmas. He had no family to go home to. Like everyone else was just like, oh, Christmas.
He had that ghost to hang out with.
His dad was like a
Eventually.
huge dick. That's
Yeah,
why
he
he
was huge.
stayed at school. Because like there's a scene. Well, it's in the book where his sister comes back and she's like, "Dad's so much nicer now," and you're like, "What the fuck was he doing before?"
Right.
Yeah, but there's also instances, I thought, where it did show he did have kindness that he just chose not to embrace.
Well, yeah, because he just kept losing it, and just started finding value in other things. I mean, like his girlfriend left him, her fiance left him on a Christmas because he wanted to be able to afford a wedding and they couldn't.
So it's Ebenezer Scrooge. I always thought it was Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck plays Ebenezer Scrooge in Mickey's Christmas Carol.
That's where I got it confused.
That's also because you're a fucking idiot.
I think it'd almost have to be like you'd have to manufacture a piece of the lore. Like if I don't know, you had like a family dog and it was in the chimney when Santa came
that
down,
fucking
and
that prep landing crew came in and
Right,
slit
like-
that fucking dog's throat.
So you're making
Grandma
your
got
Christmas
ran over
John
by a
Wick
reindeer.
movie.
I mean, not even John Wick movie, but like if Santa came down the chimney and accidentally killed a family pet or something, that'd be a reason to hate Santa.
Well, they made it was a song. They made it into a movie. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer.
Oh, that's fair.
Where
They made that into a movie?
Yeah.
The fruit
Multiple
cake
times.
that Grandma has, like the smell, like attracted the reindeer, and they ran her over. And Santa takes her back to the North Pole to heal her.
Does he
Yeah,
turn into,
And
like
so-
Robo
Yeah.
Grandma?
And they, one of the grandchildren, like sue Santa Claus.
Cousin Mel.
Yeah, they sue Santa Claus for a hit and run. Dead serious.
Grandma got
right.
ran
And who
over
won-
by
won
a
the case?
reindeer.
Santa, he's got the best fucking lawyers. All Jews, ironically. I can say that.
Okay. Do we want to go into recommendations, or we want to fly through the ranker.com
Go-
list?
So let's go into the recommendations.
Oh, recommendation?
Oh, you don't want to do Ranker?
Oh, we can do Ranker. That's fine.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, is
I
this
just
one
figured we
tropes
already had
too
one
that are gonna
Christmas
be-
theft.
Yeah,
Okay, like,
that's what Christmas is all about.
I'm going to say this on the Ranker one. If it is any of the tropes we've already covered on the Screen Rant, skip it.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
real quick. 15 tropes that show up in every Christmas movie. Here we go.
Oh, I thought you were going to do like top 10 Christmas movies.
Nope, these are all the same ones.
Oh.
The adorable Muppet.
So it's almost like media copying media
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
and us copying other
do
media.
you
Iteration.
like elves in your Christmas movie? Like when you think of elves, like which iteration? So you got the Christmas Chronicles where they're like magical-ish creatures because I mean they're humanoid, but they're not like humans.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got the Santa Claus.
What character did we just create, that Daniel create, that we now have in Damage Control Podcasting Christmas Lore, whose heart grew in Alabama or whatever?
Douche.
Oh, the douchebag McGee.
Douchebag McGee. They had the Grinch heart growing thing. I'm like, well,
You've got the childlike elves from the Santa Claus series, and then almost all the other ones, they're like all old, crotchety.
Yeah, so I like...
Or the Neptunians from Futurama.
I kind of like this, like, generic fantasy-like creatures. And a lot of people, like... Because Christmas elves are fantasy dwarves or gnomes in most worlds, right? So...
I'm not trying to mess... I'm trying to relate to that. So, because you were talking about Lord of the Rings, because elves in that are they human size?
Yes.
Or taller?
They're a little bit taller.
Okay, because there's a Disney Christmas movie called like The Ultimate Christmas Wish, where someone
Christmas wish.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Because there's like a weather making machine that someone steals, and they send 2 elves to recover it, and the elves are played by these 2 guys, and they're like
Tall
6.5 foot tall, and that's what I thought of.
Yeah, so like Lord of the Rings elves are taller than humans. Most fantasy elves are slightly shorter than humans, but they are not like knee-high children,
Gotcha.
which are more like gnomes in most fantasy universes, and they certainly don't have beards, you know.
What's to do with the Gimli? What's he?
Gimli's a dwarf.
Dwarf.
Fantasy dwarf. Yeah.
What's the difference between a dwarf and a hobbit?
Hobbits are like happy-go-lucky kind of characters, and then the dwarves tend to be a little bit more gritty, more like industrial.
And then canonically, they're like stockier.
That's true.
So while they are short, they
broader.
are fucking wide.
Yeah, much broader. So I guess I don't really mind my Christmas elf, so long as like they're not trying to mix in other sort of fantasy lore. Because if you give me like a Christmas bearded elf and then give me a dwarf in that same world, I might have a problem with that. But as long as you establish this is what your Christmas elf looks like, I prefer like the claymation Rudolph Christmas elf.
Oh,
So that kind of style. If I have to pick one, but
Gay dentist.
One of my favorite alternate ones, though, is Rise of the Guardians, where instead of the elves making all the toys, it's Yetis making all the toys.
all the elves are just fucking stupid.
Yeah, so they're just sort of more like mice or something running around the North Pole. And then the Yetis are the ones making... They're like...
what happened with the elves? Did they inbreed too much, or
Yeah,
Possibly.
kind of looks like it. I like.
this is why you shouldn't kiss cousins?
Or Mary.
Never mind. I like
You guys have to
the
cut
Santa
that.
Claus ones. I like the Santa Claus ones because like you think that like they're young kids and like they're just like super like pissy
I'm
off.
900 years old.
Like they say something like, "I've got pointy shoes older than you." Like,
Bernard left to do
That's
numbers.
No.
yeah, but he comes back in the series.
He got fired from doing numbers.
He marries an actress.
Oh.
He gives up his immortality.
I will say that of all the depictions of like Santa, the Grinch Santa has got to be one of my favorites.
Ooh, I've been thinking about this. All right, so in the Jim Carrey Grinch, the Sir Anthony Hopkins states in the opening that world takes place on a snowflake. Okay.
Oh,
In that movie, there's a scene where the Grinch watches Santa Claus leave. So in that universe, Santa Claus exists. So in every single snowflake that there's a universe like that,
No.
does Santa Claus exist, or is that the main universe Santa
Yes.
that shrinks his size to fulfill those presents?
Pin particles.
you know what kind of disturbs me is you ever it's snowing, you stick your tongue out, catch a snowflake.
Imagine the yellow snow.
Oh,
I mean,
gotta fucking
it-
hate that.
Be a
mean-
fucking tidal wave. Just
Not even a tidal wave. You wouldn't even see a wave. It would just be, bam, covered.
Oh God, are snow angels?
oh,
Like you flop down in the snow to make snow angels and like commit genocide?
They kind of went over that in Horton Hears a Who, like how delicate their universe was.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote my name in the snow one time, but it was Michael J. Fox's handwriting. Is the Rock an elf in Red One?
The Rock.
Yeah, I think he's an elf.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Christmas movie. I'm kind of excited to see it.
I thought about going to see it, but I didn't know how. Mainly because it's got bearded Chris Evans in it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because people are kind of trashing it right now. I don't know if it's one of those ones I'm hoping the reviews are wrong about it. And, like, people are just trash on it to be trashing on it.
I think, from what I hear, it's one of those movies that it's fun to trash on. Like, it's not...
So is
It's
people
not-
trying to take a
I'm
Christmas
sure it's-
movie seriously trashing on it?
I'm
Yeah,
sure it's a
it's not-
paint by numbers
it's
Christmas
not,
movie.
It's not a
but
bad.
I mean,
It's not a bad movie. They say it's very like kids will love it. There's jokes in it for adults. It's a very safe down the middle movie. It's not like a movie made in bad quality. It's a really high quality movie, but it's a very safe.
haven't they been trying to make this for a while? Because I distinctly thought that the screenshot of like J.K. Simmons where he's got like I don't know how much weight
That's the
on
reason
the bar.
why he worked out. It wasn't for is Zack Snyder happened to use him when he was working out. A lot of people thought that he was working out for Commissioner Gordon, but he was working out for Red One.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I thought like there was this because it's in the movie where it's like him like bench pressing a massive amount of weight and like he's wearing what he wears in like the trailer. And I thought it seemed like this movie had been in purgatory for a while.
Yeah, I when I was at the theater last, I saw a poster for it, and I would have put money that had came out last year, and this was a re-release because I could have swore I remember seeing like promotional material for it last Christmas.
This is the movie that The Rock got all that problems with. I guess he was working out and he didn't have time to go to the bathroom, so he'd pee in a bottle and hand it to his assistant to throw away. Remember all that
I
controversy?
did not remember that.
You remember that controversy?
I don't remember that controversy.
I don't even know why it was controversy. I mean, it's kind of weird that he doesn't just stop lifting weights and go to the bathroom, but he lifts by himself in his own. What does he call it? The Iron Jungle or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He
Like, I'm sorry, I don't care how fucking good you look. If you can't stop to take a piss, are you fucking kidding me?
Right, like you are not losing that much to your muscle mass by stopping and using the bathroom and coming back like a normal human being.
well,
Just take the weight with you and just
when you've got
Probably
human
help
growth
him get it
hormone
out.
going through, you've only got a certain amount of
There-
window,
yeah,
anabolic window.
there's no way that he doesn't have a whole bunch of shit coursing through his system.
Oh, what are you talking about? He's completely natural.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, recommendation before Daniel does his thing. We're gonna do a new section. It's called the recommendation section, and that's where we do trivia questions. No, that's where we recommend movies, movies, TV shows, comic books, or whatever
based on our topic or
based on
just
our topic.
based on our topic.
Yep. So Tyler, any recommendations?
I recommend the Librarian series because it has a great. I think it's like episode 4, season 1,
Boo.
and then there's a callback later. Santa's brother. There you go. There's your villain. So in that lore, Santa's brother takes things.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so is Santa Claus kind of like James Bond, where like for the longest time James Bond wasn't really a name, it was a title? So is Santa Claus like a title, or is Santa Claus like legitimately his name?
That's well. I mean, it's
He
it's his name in the current iteration because that's what we refer to him as. So in 100 years, if he's called, Jiminy Christmas,
No,
Then-
Dick Mix, whatever Daniel came up with.
Douchebag McGee.
So why can't I remember that?
then that becomes his name.
Oh, okay.
One of my favorites that I actually just watched recently is Claus. It's on Netflix. It's about it's an origin story from the point of sending Santa Claus a letter. So it is a mailman goes to a town, everybody hates each other. He needs people to send letters, so he tricks kids into basically sending letters to a guy in town who makes toys, and sort of is the ethos of the Santa Claus mythology of be nice, so you do all the tropes of...
Definition of ethos.
I don't even think I used it right.
I'm not making fun of you. I don't know what the word means.
An ethos is like a code of ethics.
Yeah, so an ethos. Because you go through, because
I wasn't making fun.
Because so they go through, they do all the tropes of like, oh, well, where do I hide the toys? 'Cause people are getting the toys and throwing them away, so they get the stocking references of him hiding toys in the stockings. One of the kids is a dick to the mailman, and the mailman's like, oh, you're being a dick to me, so you're going to get coal instead. And so they have to like be nice, or else you get coal instead of a present.
Listen up here, jackass.
Yeah, and basically just that. It literally is like the mailman is a whiny, sort of self-entitled, pompous rich kid that has to prove himself, or else he gets cut off from his rich male dad family.
Huh.
And so it's him. He's got like 5,000 letters in a year, and that's how he does it. And then through his being kids to be nice to each other, it spreads to all the other people that are basically, it's got like a Hatfield and McCoy sort of feud happening in the town. And he gets to them basically get rid of that hate just by being nice to each other. One act of random kindness.
Okay.
And so I really recommend it. It's an animated movie. It is animated in a classic style.
Who are the Hatfield and McCoys?
I'm
joking. I know who they are.
Yeah, so, and it brought this up because the guy who voices Santa Claus or the Woodsman is J.K. Simmons.
Oh.
Neat.
Jacksepticeye is the voice of Santa?
J.K. Simmons.
Is the voice of Santa? Because you said he was the woodsman.
Sorry, Woodsman is Santa in this movie.
Oh, okay. So who
Spoilers.
does Jacksepticeye?
Did I say Jack?
Isn't that what you just said? Was
No,
Jacksepticeye?
J.K. Simmons.
Right, but before that.
The
You
guy.
said you
he's
said-
No, speaking of J.K. Simmons,
Right. Am I losing my mind here?
Yes.
I think you're having-
I
do you
swear
smell?
to-
Do you smell copper? Do you smell burnt toast?
Maybe.
Hold up your arm. Are you okay?
Like, if I did say it, I don't remember it either.
Okay, so this is how and I'm going to be real curious to listen to this back. What I heard was...
Oh, is it when I said Hatfield and McCoys?
No, after that. That sentence to me was Santa is voiced by Jacksepticeye and the Woodsman is voiced by J.K. Simmons. That was what that sentence was.
Oh, see, I don't know. I
Like,
had this.
I
had this Cody implant done about 3 weeks ago, so that whenever Cody talks, it comes in and then translates it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you
don't-
not say that at all?
I don't remember. I legit don't remember exactly what I said.
I don't know, but that sounds like a badass name, Jacksepticeye.
You don't know who
He's a-
Jack, so you don't know who
he's
that
a real
is?
famous YouTuber.
It's a real person.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. His real name's Sean something, but he's a real famous YouTuber.
I
He's
thought it was-
very Irish,
I
which
thought
is
it was
like
a fake name.
no, it's real. I really like. I'm like an Irish Santa because as soon as you said that, I went an Irish Santa. That's weird. And then you went into J.K.
Here's my
Simmons as the
impression.
Woodsman.
That would make sense
And-
if he played it, because like in the Rankin Bass Santa Claus, Santa Claus has got red hair.
Yeah.
Here's my impression of an Irish Santa Claus. Do I get presents this year? Yes.
He's Scottish.
Oh, fuck.
If I did say it, you're going to have to go back to tape. 'Cause I legit don't remember.
I cannot wait to re-listen to this. So,
Fun fact: we're never releasing this episode.
I cannot wait.
We will
to
release
listen to
this on our Patreon for $9,000.
But yeah, so the Woodsman, Santa Claus in this, is voiced by J.K. Simmons.
Right.
And I do not
Wait.
know if I said Jacksepticeye or not.
Spawn is Santa Claus.
No, that's J.K. No,
That's Al Simmons.
yeah, no, but there's a J.K. in the...
Rowling.
Wait, I was said Spawn is.
Oh, no, that's DB. I was thinking DB, not J.K.
But I really like it because it's Mythos.
This recommendations has gone off.
Oh, it's so off the rails.
Yeah,
it
so-
was meant to corral us, and I think we just...
Well, it doesn't help that I could have possibly said Jacksepticeye, and it would have been normal for the course of
That
code.
sounds like a badass ninja name.
It is kind of a cool name.
Are you a fan?
Yeah, I like Jacksepticeye, so it's
Quit saying Jackson. Every time you say his name, he gets $1.
yeah, so it could be possible. I said that.
that you
Like,
said
I
what?
just can't remember. I swear to God.
I cannot wait to re-listen to this. Or I'm losing my goddamn mind. I don't know.
Okay, what are your recommendations, Dan?
So my recommendations are
Besides Jacksepticeye.
Yeah,
the ones
too.
that we've already listened to or already talked about, which are Krampus is a great horror movie. I love watching that every year. Prep and Landing is fantastic. The Christmas Chronicles are great. I've got a soft spot for the Rankin Bass, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I watch the Muppet Christmas Carol every year for Christmas Eve. So all of those are absolutely brilliant. I love all of those. I am not, like, for as much as I enjoy Christmas, I don't consume a whole lot of Christmas media, so I don't have a whole lot else to add to that.
What about you, Scrooge McFuck?
There's a Batman book called Batman Noel that is really good.
Isn't that a Christmas story?
It is basically a Christmas story, yeah. It is.
No, I meant like a Christmas Carol. I mean, I figured it was a Christmas story. But
it's Batman Christmas Carol, basically, where Batman is learning the value of Christmas.
You know why Spawn doesn't celebrate Christmas?
Because he's dead.
No owl. It says no owl. Owl's not allowed to. So my
that was wow.
Silent Night. Donald Logue.
Oh wait, I got one. Every American Dad Christmas episode is one for me, exclusively from me. I said it first.
Oh, and you know what? Another really good one was Polar Express. That was really fun.
Where it's the Tom Hanks on Tom Hanks on Tom Hanks.
Was that about Santa Claus?
They go to the North Pole.
I've never seen it. I don't know.
The whole point of that.
I did like what the hell?
No.
I like when they finally get to the North Pole and like they're actually there. It's got like this huge mosaic like on the ground, and everything is like all the arrows are pointing down, and they just says like south every direction.
Yeah, that is cool.
Real quick, do you like your version of the North Pole, Santa's workshop? Do you like the super technologically advanced type look, or do you like the more mystical, like pagan type, like just like a?
Yeah. So my dad, growing up, did a whole lot of like miniature dioramas. And for the longest time, he had this beautiful woven miniature diorama of Santa's castle, where you could open up like the different rooms and see like Santa elves feeding the reindeer, and Santa like cooking cookies and stuff.
Mrs. Claus.
So I like that kind of like. I don't mind it being bigger than just a cabin out in the middle of nowhere, but I like the kind of more fantastical feel versus the sci-fi feel. And that's a big reason why.
One of my favorite tropes, though, is the idea of how we got super complicated electronic toys now. And just the idea, we go to the North Pole and there's just an elf losing his mind with a fucking wood chisel, being like, how do I make a Game Boy?
See, I like
that's a great idea.
I like
the
Santa Claus series where it's like a barren wasteland, and then it's like all hidden beneath, like Hollow Earth style, like
flat Earth,
and like that's how like they like when in the second one when they have like it's like an airplane, they're trying to use like sonar or something to detect oil or some MacGuffin. They like flip a whole bunch of switches and like increase like the northern lights to distract them and send them all every which way.
I don't think this recommendation section works. It just sent us off on another tangent.
No.
Daniel, do your closing.
Okay. Is everyone done with the recommendations?
Well, I guess so, since Adam just fucking coming on.
I thought you recommended it.
No, it's all right.
All right, go ahead.
I'll just wait until next year.
Doing the recommendation section, I like the idea of it.
I thought you did it. I thought you did
It's
yours.
fine.
Go ahead.
Do it next year. Next time we do a Santa Claus thing.
No, do your recommendation.
It's all right. It's all right. I don't want to do it.
What is a Christmas without brothers fighting?
I thought you did. Who was the first one that did it? You.
That's true. You started with recommendations.
Yeah, but
we actually cut off Adam in the middle of his, and Adam didn't finish his.
But then Cody took over from me, and then it would have been rude to let him not finish. Then he would have gotten blue balls. We all know Daniel's going to finish.
You're damn right. Because if anyone gets it, I get it.
Go ahead. Do your
right.
closing.
Anyway, you've been listening
So,
to the
my favorite has to be...
I'm not going to let you interrupt me. I'm going to power through it. I'll win. My God, we could do so much cool stuff with that, and that's what we use for. Anyway, you've been listening to Orig, a Damage Control podcasting production. Make sure you check out new episodes every Monday on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts.
And Blue Sky.
That's one of our, hopefully, maybe social medias coming up.
Isn't Sky Blue a porn star?
Probably.
Oh.
Yeah, so check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and the X. and possibly on Blue Sky, where we're going to post our NSFW content. And
So all of our stuff.
and yeah, just please like, comment, and subscribe.
Actual question. Don't push the button yet. Actual question. Is there a Transformers Christmas episode?
I don't think there is, actually.
It's a crossover with Futurama. It's where the robot Santa comes from.
Yeah, the only one I can think of is the one where the Decepticons start to drain the heat of the Earth, and it causes it to snow in like the New Mexico, Nevada area that they've crashed in.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only one I can think of.
Okay. Push the button.
All right, Adam, push the button.